All right, you guys, welcome back. Welcome back to our show day live feed. Review, previews, all sorts of gossip and news. Hey, that kind of rhymed. Welcome. When you get logged on, say hello. As always, we wait about 3 minutes or so for notifications to go out. Everybody get logged on and get settled in and get rolling on everything. So say where you're coming in from, what you're listening for. And while we're waiting on all of you to come join us, hello from Canada. We have our QR code up here in the corner for your free newsletter. This is Boldly Conquer newsletter right here. Scan that QR code and get on our free newsletter. We send it out once a month. We recap everything that we've done for the month, what's going on in the industry, all those kinds of things, give you lots of health and exercise and fitness and food tips. So it's free, boldlyconquer.com. Hi from Japan again. Hello. We got Albuquerque. We got Texas. What's up? What's up, Lauren? So Lauren just competed this weekend, and she won the Fit Model overall in Legions. Headed to Junior Nationals next. She is one of our sponsored athletes. She won her sponsorship at CCTS this past year by winning one of the overalls there. Got a great look for a Fit Model. We're going to talk about Fit Model today. We're going to go over the review for Junior Nationals. I got some things to say. You guys know me. I got opinions. I always got opinions. People don't listen to my opinions, but I got opinions. I got to make my voice heard, though. That's all we can do. Can't expect things to change if you don't talk about them. How's my video coming through, by the way? Like, is my audio okay? Video okay? I'm seeing a lag on my video a little bit. So comment. Let me know how it's looking on your end. If there's a lag, I just want to make sure that I go a little bit slower through some stuff so we don't miss anything. It's like in and out. Like right now it's fine, but a second ago it was like there was a little bit of a lag. So and as everybody's getting settled in here, what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to go through Legions first, or do you want to go through Junior USA Fit Model first? Because we're not going to go through all of Junior USA. We're just going to go through the Fit Model awards. Fit Model Pro Card winners. Let me know what you want to do. Type it in the comments. Looks good? Okay, good. I'm hoping it's just on my end that I'm seeing that. Sometimes you never know with these streaming services. We're having issues with filming behind the bikini, and it was lagging, so I just want to make sure that we're looking okay on here. Hello from North Carolina. This weekend is going to be a big one for us. We will be at the DC ProAm, so we are going to preview that tonight. So one of the cool things that they do at the DC ProAm that they don't do at a lot of the other shows is that we have live commentary. So myself and Jordan, who does Behind the Bikini with me, we are going to be the live stream commentators for DC ProAm. So when you purchase the live stream, you'll actually hear us commentating. We are going to be commentating for the pros, not for NPC, because I got to jump off the live stream and go get my girls ready for the NPC portion. So the way that it works is the first session in the morning is the men, and the pro division is men's physique. And then they'll go right into the men's NPC. And then we'll go into the women's IFBB and then women's NPC. So it's all on GaryUta.com. You can get the streaming service. It is a 2-day show. The first day is the DC Pro-Am, just normal portion. Then the second day, Sunday, is the natural version as well. So if you want to watch the natural show, it'll be on there. But yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend because we are going to actually be on the stream all morning, that kind of thing. And then, like I said, getting the girls ready for the afternoon. So with that, I think we're going to start with Fit Model because then we can roll into reviewing legions for Bikini Pros, and then we can talk about the shows coming up this weekend because there's several shows this weekend. So let's talk about Fit Model first. I'm going to pull up each of the competitors that won their pro cards and just kind of show you what they rewarded. And then we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it a little bit. Okay. All right. Here's that. So we had 4 pro cards that were awarded this weekend. This was the first real, we had Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh was a natural pro qualifier. So this is a little different. This is the first real pro card winners, right? Class winners all got their pro card. So in general, I was happy with the girls that won their pro cards. I would have done a little bit differently with the way that it was actually scored as far as who won the overall and things like that. And I'm going to explain why. But first, we're going to just going to look at the girls that won their pro cards. This is the first start to this particular division in the Pro League that I believe is really one we need to be paying attention to, because now we're starting to get the competition actually ramped up, right? So I know Jane very well. She's been on my podcast. She's one of the Fit Body Fusion coaches. She is a previous bikini competitor, and now she is a Fit Model Pro. And if you watched the episode that we did with her for Behind the Bikini, one of the things that she really impressed upon with switching over to Fit Model is the fact that it is more sustainable with her lifestyle. She's a mother, all of that kind of stuff, and I completely agree. I think this is a beautiful look for Fit Model. I do know that her feedback was to just continue to grow her glutes. I talked to her. I said, I personally would have liked to seen her a little bit tighter. Now, I think she was lean enough, but she also made a post and she talked about some of the things that she went through going into this particular show. Had some issues with travel, things like that. She didn't come in early enough for the show. She came in basically the day before the show and got in late. Her bags were all late, all that kind of stuff. So to me, what I saw in her body was it looked like she had a layer of inflammation over top of her. So while I think her conditioning was good, I do think she's showing some signs of her body being a little stressed out here, meaning just a little bit inflamed. I'd have liked to see that water kind of dissipate from her a little bit. So guys, if you're going to be traveling to a show, make sure you give yourself plenty of time, come in a day or two early so that you can let any kind of water retention that you're holding, let it all dissipate. Because I think if she had done that, I think she would have come in even better at this particular show. Maybe could have bumped up a placing or two in the overall. Now she got her pro card, so that's all that really matters here, right? But I do think that this could have been a little bit better had she not had that much stress going into the show. Overall, I think her body is very, very well balanced. She's got the tiny waistline. She does have shoulders, but not overpowering. Her lower body is a little bit more dominant, and that's only a little bit more dominant because of this particular pose. So this is going to be something that we see across the board when we're looking at this particular division. We're not looking for huge shoulder caps. We are going to see some girls that look a little bit more dominant in the lower half, just because you're going to be holding a little bit more body fat, which leads to you looking a little bit fuller on the lower half. That is just how this works, how our hormones work as women. If we are not shredded, we are going to hold body fat on our lower half, so it's going to look a little thicker. So that is a look we're going to see, right? Which I think is a good look. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good look. We're going to see some more lower body dominant type of looks, right? So the only thing that I would say in this particular position here with her is, again, I'd like to see the inflammation come down a little bit and maybe just tweak this pose just a touch. It's pretty close, but I'm not a huge fan of this toe being this way. I like to see the toe either flat, the foot either flat on the ground and the toe straight ahead, or the toe going outward. When it's going in a touch, I think it actually diminishes the glute pop and the overall line. Looks a little bit wonky. To me, I just don't like that particular look with the toe. I want to see the toe go outwards, or at the very least go straight forward. And I will show you that on a couple of these other girls. So that's really all I would change on her front pose, is I would just change that foot a little bit. Let's look at a back shot here. Now, again, this is where I think she was lean enough, but I think she was holding a little bit of inflammation from the back. So we could have pulled hamstrings in a touch more. Now, we don't want hamstring tie-ins, right? But to me, it just looks like we need a little bit more separation between the glutes and the hamstrings. And this, to me, is an inflammation thing. I think she's got a nice taper from her shoulders down to her waist. Suit cut is okay. It's okay. It's okay. I think it could be more flattering. I think we see a little bit too much material in the top here. But I think it's not bad. I think it could just be a little bit better. It doesn't really V in at the top, so we don't get that taper into the waistline like I'd like to see here from the suit bottom itself. In general, like I said, excuse me, I believe she's in shape, but I think we have a little bit of inflammation back here. So that's all I would change, really. And again, her feedback was to grow more glutes, which I would agree with, because if she gets more density in her glutes, she can come in a touch leaner here, and it's not going to look like she's got those hamstring tie-ins and separation and things like that. So building the glute density and that roundness and fullness is going to allow her to come in leaner without looking like she's too over the top with conditioning. So I do agree with that feedback as well. So let's take a look at our next lady up. We have Frances. I don't know. I'm going to say Fran. I'm going to call her Fran. We're going to call her Fran. So again, another really pretty look here. Let's pull up her front pose. In my opinion, this was a very well executed pose. This is what I was talking about with her front pose here. The toe is flat on the ground, which is helping her pop a little bit more. I would like to see her twist the hip a little bit so we can see the glute pop from the back a little bit more. I feel like she's posing like this because she does have a really tight waistline from the front, so I understand the pose. But I'd like to see her just angle that hip bone just a touch more so we can see the glute pop in the back. But I do like the toe position here, okay? So this is the hard part about this pose. As soon as you start twisting that hip, that's when that toe starts coming in, because it's all hip mobility and flexibility from the back, right? Or from the front. This pose is so hard to hit correct, you guys. It's a lot of hip flexibility and mobility. If you're not working on that and you're planning on being in Fit Model, please work on it, okay? Now, I think her lower body conditioning is great. I think her abs and her upper body conditioning is a little bit over the line. So this is going to be the constant issue when it comes to Fit Model, because in order to get your lower half in shape without going over the line with conditioning, you're still going to be pretty lean up top. Okay. So hi, Fran. So sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. If you'd like to, feel free to put your judges' feedback in the comments here. I'm saying my 2 cents as far as what I'd like to see, but I don't know if this is what the judges told you or not. So feel free to add that in if you'd like. Like I was saying, I like the toe position here. I just like to see a little bit more twist in the hip. I do see that some people are posing like this with the front pose. I just want to see more glute pop in the back. I do like the suit color. I do like the suit fit. I think it looks really good on her from the front here. Again, that leanness aspect, conditioning aspect is where it's going to be difficult for most of the girls in Fit Model. Okay. So what I'd like to see is a little bit more density in the lower half of the body. So then that way her upper half does not have to get quite as lean. So we don't see quite as etched in abs here. She can come in a little bit fuller, and then we don't look as, like I said, as hard or as lean up top. And then we still are conditioned on the bottom. So, okay. Tyler said a little bit more glutes and hamstrings. So again, this is what I'm talking. We're going to turn you around to the back, but I see it from the front as well. So this is the same thing I mentioned about Jane. I know Jane's feedback was more glutes. When you add more density to the lower half, you don't have to get as lean in order to show that muscularity. Okay. So that's what I would say here too. You're not going to have to get as lean up top in order to be in shape on your bottom half if you add some more density to your lower half. So that makes complete sense. And I would agree with that. So let's take a look at the back shot. Let's see. Let's pull up the back shot here. And I would say that, yes, this is very apparent when you turn to the back as far as needing more tissue in the back, right? So if you add more glutes and more hamstrings from the back, you're going to be able to, again, get a little bit fuller and still look in shape, okay? I think you have a lot of potential to grow here, specifically your upper outer glutes. I'm going to be honest with you, this back shot, as far as your suit cut, could be better. Coverage is okay. Again, color is okay. I just don't like that excess fabric on the top. It just looks like it's too much fabric. So I'd like to see it dip down and V in a little bit more on the back. But in general, I think you actually have really good calves from the back. So I think if you add some more size in your legs and in your glutes, that's really going to make you look very complete from top to bottom. And again, going back to that extra density and muscle on the lower half, you're not going to have to get as lean. That density makes a big, big difference. And then your upper body is going to be more balanced with your lower body. As far as the pose is concerned, though, I think you're right on with the pose. I wouldn't really change anything here. I think the pose is great. I think you just need more size. That's it. So I agree with that. And again, I always go back to, when it comes to these female divisions in general, I love muscle on women. I just don't like extreme conditioning. So the more size that you can add to your shape, the less conditioned you're going to have to get in order to make it pop right. You know what I mean? Okay, so this was Elizabeth. I personally, I'm going to be honest, I personally would have given her the overall. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. So I don't know what her official judging feedback was. I did hear people thought she could be a little bit tighter. She had a little bit of lower ab distension, that kind of thing. But this is where, oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I could help, friend. And congratulations on your pro card win. That's amazing. You know, you're part of that first class, which is awesome. So again, going back to, I don't like her toe in this front pose. I think her stance is way too wide on this front pose. So I'm giving you the bad things first. But again, I would put her in the overall position. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes here. I think she has an overall really beautiful look. She's full, round, healthy. Like, we see that fullness in her upper body here, which I really, really like. I think she's got great shape from the front, her quads. I think that conditioning in her front is perfect. Again, I did hear that she had a little bit of lower ab distension, like when she was moving through her poses and things like that. So I understand that aspect of it. Could have been a little bit tighter. But in general, I like this particular look for the physique. I would change her pose as far as the toe and her stance being too wide. I would change all of that. But I also understand when I put her pictures next to the overall winner, she has a little bit of a thicker waistline. So I believe she was trying to pose this way in order to make her waistline look smaller. So I understand why she was doing it. But still, I just do not like this toe sticking out on the side like that. I just think it looks really weird. I don't like it. So that's just me. I want to see that hip mobility. I want to see that open up. I want to see that toe flat on the ground, so that it looks a little bit more normal. Like, this just looks awkward to me, right? But shape-wise, shape from the front, okay? And as far as beauty look too, beauty look is beautiful. All four of the girls that won their pro cards are gorgeous. That's the first thing. Let's see. We don't have a fully posed back pose. It's pretty close, so we're going to do this one. She's not completely set. Yes. You're on, Tiana. Did I pronounce it right this time? And I haven't gotten to legions yet, so we'll do that next. So she's not fully posed here. I wanted to get a full shot. She's not fully posed, so that's unfortunate. But we're going to go to the next one because she is fully posed, but it's not a full-length shot. So again, beauty-wise, perfect. Hair's perfect. Pose is perfect here, all that stuff. She needs more glutes and legs from the back, okay? So again, going back to, I understand why she came in second overall. I get it, but I still would have put her in the overall position. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But I understand why she was put here. I mean, you can see it here. She just needs some more. She needs some more from the back. She needs more glutes. She needs more hamstrings from the back, okay? Beautiful shape, though, overall. I do like this suit cut on her too. Again, I'd like to see it dip down a little bit in that V in the top, but this is a better suit cut than what we've seen so far. So again, this is why, as we're getting to the overall winner, I'm going to tell you exactly why I still would have put her in first, and I'm going to be really blunt about it. Okay. All right. So your pro card winner right here is Gabriella. Again, beautiful look. Overall, beautiful muscle development, beautiful shape, beautiful posing. Let's get her front pose up so you can see it. Conditioning on her upper half looks perfect. Again, posing looks great. See her toe? This is what I'm talking about with the toe. Toe is perfect. Love that. Looks great. Why I would not have given her the overall is in this front. Okay. As beautiful as this is over the line in conditioning. This is over the line in muscularity. Okay. I really, really, really want to stress and hope that the judges stress that we don't want to go over the line. I would much rather reward somebody that is under the line than over, because what happens with all of these divisions is, just as human nature, we go to the most impressive physique on stage. And then what happens is, over the course of time, that just bumps the criteria up and up and up and up and up and up. So I'm going to be very vocal here. As great as she looks, I would not have given her the overall because of the cuts in her quads. I would not have given it to her. Okay. So I'm really, really hoping that as we get deeper into these shows, that we see that as a firm line drawn, that if you go over the line in criteria, you do not get rewarded. I'm sorry. That's just is what it is. Okay. Now I get why, because when we turn it to the back, let's look at a back pose. She has full round glutes. Really from the back, this is a very, very good shot from the back. Okay. She's got the roundness in her glutes. She's got good hamstrings, but not full tie-ins. She's got that projection. She's got that density. And again, beautiful shape, beautiful overall look. So I do understand why she won the overall, because of this shot right here. But again, I'm going to be very, very blunt and very, very honest. I hope and pray that as this division goes on, if you are over the line on conditioning in any of these aspects, you don't win an overall. I still think she should have won a pro card. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have won the pro card, but I just want them to make a stance. This is me. This is my own personal opinion, and they may not do this, but this is just what I want to see. I want them to make a firm stance. When the conditioning goes over the line, we don't reward it. Okay. That's what I want. I would much rather see somebody who comes in just maybe a little hair soft in this division, just this division alone. We don't need to do this in the other divisions, just this division. If she's a little bit too soft versus somebody who's a little bit too hard, pick the girl that's a little bit too soft. Please, I'm begging you, judges, pick the girl that's a little bit too soft. That's what I'm asking for. Okay. So as good as she is from the back, and I understand why she won the overall because of the back. For me, the front would have been okay. Again, she still deserves the pro card. She still deserves that, but just don't give her the overall. Okay. That's my stance. That's what I'm sticking to. And I'm begging the judges to please keep this criteria in line. Okay. Because this can get out of hand really, really fast, really, really fast. All it takes is one person to come in and get rewarded like that. And now everybody thinks they got to show up looking like that. Okay. So I'm being very, very firm on this stance. Y'all may not agree with me, and that's okay, but this is what I want to see, because I just don't want this. I don't want this division to get out of control before it's even gotten off the ground. So type into the comments, tell me what you think. Do you agree with me or do you not? What is your thought? Do you think that she should have won the overall, or do you think she should have been put in second overall because she was over the line on the quad development? What do you guys think? Because she's over the line on criteria, I'm saying because she's over the line in the conditioning criteria, she should not have won the overall. I'm just going to be completely blunt about that. Okay. And again, you don't have to agree with me. The judges don't have to agree with me, but if we're going to keep this criteria in line, this is what needs to happen. Okay. And again, just like Jennifer said here, she's fantastic from the back. I don't want to take that away from her. And even from the front, other than the cuts in the quads, she's fantastic. Other than the cuts, other than the cuts in the quads. But if Tyler's come out and said that they're going to dock people because of suit coverage, if your suit coverage doesn't look right, or if it's too small or whatever, and they're going to automatically dock you because of suit coverage, they should automatically dock you for cuts where you don't have cuts. Okay, that's what I think. Again, all it takes is one show, and this whole criteria can just go through the fucking roof. it just is what it is. So thank you, Lexi. Thank you for standing with me in support. Support. What else? Anybody else agree with me or disagree? Does anybody want to put their 2 cents in? We're going to move over to Legions, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to say what is on your mind as well. Stand with me or against me. That's totally fine. But you know, I just want to really hammer this point home. I just want to see this. I don't want to see this division get out of control. I just don't want this division to get out of control before it's even started. Right? And if nobody says it, nothing gets done. So I'm gonna be the one. I'll fall on the sword, you guys. I'll fall on the sword. Thank you. Agreed. Good. Well, Jennifer, though, you're in Bikini, though. That's the thing. You're not in this division. If you were in this division, I would say the same thing about you, but you're not in this division. That's okay. This division is supposed to be an entry-level division. This is supposed to be a division that girls look at and say, I can do that. When you start getting cuts in the quads and you start getting that extreme conditioning, a normal girl coming in off the street says, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that. And that's the problem. Okay. I've been very vocal about this from the beginning. I think muscle on women is beautiful. Put as much muscle as you want on, but once you start really, nailing into that conditioning aspect, unless you are a genetic freak, it is not good for you as a female, right? Just is what it is. And that's what normal people on the street that are thinking about getting into this sport, they look at that and they say, I don't want to do that. It's the conditioning. It's not the muscle. It's the conditioning. Okay. I agree with you. I would have had Gabriella in second overall because of the quad splits. You have to set the standard in the U.S. before things get out of hand with conditioning and size. 100%. It's supposed to be entry level. It's supposed to be entry level. Yep. There it is. Good point. She's still beautiful, but I completely understand and agree. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like there is nothing wrong with if that's how you're genetically put together. That's totally fine. Go to the next division up. Go to the next division up. Okay. Let's keep Fit Model where it's supposed to be. Keep it fuller, rounder, healthier. And again, I'm not saying that she's not healthy. This could just be her, and this is how she's put together. That's totally fine. But it's not the criteria for this division. If you want that to be the criteria for you to fit into, then go to the next division. Go to Bikini. Okay? I want to keep this. I really want Fit Model to stay as an attainable division. It has to. It has to. Right? Good. I'm glad you guys agree with me. And again, I'll fall on this sword till the day that I die. Because if I don't say something, or if people that agree don't say something, nothing will happen. Right? So we have to speak up. We have to. Okay. All right. I think I belabored that point enough. Let's move over to Legions. So this was a really good show. I do want to give a quick shout out to my sponsored athlete, Andrea. I actually didn't pull up her picture, and I should do that. Let me pull her up real quick. Hang on. Because she won the fitness, and I do want to give her some ups. I know we don't really talk about fitness on this, I was going to say podcast, but it's not a podcast, this live feed. But I wanted to give her some props because she did win and won her Olympic qualification. So I'm going to find a good shot to show of her physique round. Well, they're showing all routine rounds, so let's find a physique round. Oh, here we go. Now we got it. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, if you work with me on your suit and you win your IFBB Pro card, then you win a sponsorship for the remainder of your career. And that's what Andrea did right here. Also, if you win your Olympic qualification in one of my suits, and you get that, it's called the Pro Performer Promise. She did that. And so she's got free suits for the rest of her life. So this is one of the suits that I've designed for her. She did win the fitness category at this particular show, which punched her ticket to the Olympia. Super excited about that. This particular suit, we call it stained glass. Her last name is Glass. So this is stained glass. It looks really, really pretty. It's a gradient color. I love it. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite suits that I've actually designed. So congratulations to her. I just wanted to give her a shout out and all of that. And back to the Olympia for her. Okay. Now let's move over to Bikini. is this one. This is it right here, I believe. Hang on one second. It is. I got a lot of windows for this one because there's a lot of things we're covering today. Okay, so legions, we're going to start with 5th place, which is Tiana, who is here on the videos and things like that came out. So Tiana, with you being here, if you feel free to send in your, type in your judging feedback. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you're welcome to. This was a much better, so we talked about Optimum Classic last week, and I didn't agree with a lot of the placings at Optimum. This show got us back right with the world, right? So to me, this is one of the better packages that Tiana's put on stage, better conditioned from top to bottom. I feel like she looks a lot tighter here than she has in shows past. Again, I like the front pose and everything like that. I don't think I would change much here. Maybe a little bit more shoulders, just to kind of fill the shoulders out, pump them out a little bit to kind of balance the upper and lower body. But I think from the waistline down, she's super, like, really well conditioned and put together from the waistline down here. So like really the only thing I see here in the front pose now is I just like to see a little bit fuller on the shoulders. Glam's good, suit's good. I wouldn't change anything with the pose. Yeah, maybe just a little bit fuller on that shoulder. Waistline's nice and tight. Right down the middle where we should be. So I wouldn't, like, again, maybe a little bit fuller shoulders. Let's go to back pose here. So from the back, pose looks a lot better than last time we talked about you. Stance looks good. What I would say, and this is probably a game day call, feet are a little off, right? So look at the feet as far as balance is concerned. And the knees kind of come in a little bit. So I'd like to see the knees go out. But the issue with that is I think that she's a little over the line with the conditioning in the back. Needs to be a little bit fuller back here. Looks a little bit too hard and not quite enough pop back here. So as soon as you turn those knees out, that makes that conditioning even harder. It pulls the hamstrings in even harder. So what I would say is she just needs to fill out a little bit from the back. I'd like to see a little bit more glute pop, just a little bit more upper outer glute. To me, the upper body from the back actually overpowers the lower body, which is interesting because it was the opposite from the front. So I think she's just a little bit too hard back here. Need to get a little bit more fullness back here. Maybe just carve up a little bit more or something like that to get a little bit more pop in the glutes. We do see the full hamstring tie-in, so we need to watch that. It's a little bit sharp in the back. And then, like I said, just balancing the foot positions so that we're even on the foot positions down here because we're off a little bit. But that's what I would say back, if that was close or not. Next up, we have Brittany. So again, she also competed in Optimum. Like I said, I wasn't really sure what was going on with some of the judging feedback or judging results in Optimum. So this is looking a little bit better. All right, so Brittany. So this is what I was talking about right here. She's got the fullness in the shoulders. I think that looks really good. I would probably do a different suit color. Not a huge fan of the light colors on blondes. I think it starts kind of all washing out. She's nice and full here, though. I like the fullness of her muscle, like the fullness of her legs and her glutes. Not a huge fan of this particular pose. I feel like it's still just a little bit off. She's too sideways for me. Maybe bring the hip bone around front a little bit. Just kind of play with this pose still. There, her front pose to me always looks a little bit, I don't know, overdone, cartoonish a little, which we want cartoon, but we want it to look effortless and easy, right? There's just something missing with it. And I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'd just like to see her in a few different positions and just see if we can make it look a little bit better. her hair's a little bit messy from the front too. I don't know if that's just maybe humidity related or something like that, but I just like to see a little bit more polish on her hair here. This polish looks a little bit off, almost like she's sweaty a little bit, that kind of thing. So if it was to go a little fuller in the glutes, surprisingly nothing about glute density was mentioned, but it's something I'd always been working on. You nailed the feedback as usual. Yay, I nailed the feedback. Thank you, Tiana. Yeah, it just looked like you were lacking a little bit of fullness and pop. And that's where you got a little bit too hard through the hamstrings there. So just pop that out a little bit more. I think you'd be good. That's why, like, from the back, you did look like you were upper body dominant just because you weren't full enough in the glutes. So that makes sense. Cool. Awesome. Love to hear that. So yeah, for Brittany, I think this is a pretty good front pose, but there's just something missing. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. Again, I'd have to see her in a bunch of different positions to see what would be the best spot for her. This is clearly a better package for her than Optimum, and she's better placing and all of that, but it's still just a little off to me. I don't know exactly what it is. I just like to see her in a few different positions to be able to determine that. Let's find a back shot here. Okay, fully posed right here. Okay, so we got some good fullness back here, right? So this is what we were talking about, just the difference in the two. She's still very conditioned. We do have full hamstring tie-ins back here. So I believe she's good with her glutes. May need a little bit more upper, just to kind of more, but I think she needs a little bit more hamstring. Like, to me, the hamstrings look very flat here. And that's where we're getting that really sharp tie-in in the back. So she's got some good projection and some pop on her glutes, but I think she could use just a little bit more. But really what I think would balance her frame more than anything from the back is just a little bit more fullness in the hamstrings. Because then again, even if she got this lean, because she's full, we wouldn't see that full hamstring tie-in here. So this is, again, better package than what she had last week, but I just like to see a little bit more fullness. And again, it's more of her legs than it is her glutes. Just overall, just a little bit more density to those hamstrings. She's just a little bit like dry back there. Just needs a little bit more muscle back there. All right. And then we have Eureka, which we thought that Eureka would be towards the top here because she just won in Optimum. But I think what happened also is she got exposed a little bit in this lineup. Waistline was a little bit thick. So let's take a look at her front pose. So when I look at this photo, the first thing I see is her upper body looks like it's overpowering to me versus her lower. That's a wide lat spread. Her shoulders come out further than her glutes do. So I think if she posed this a little bit differently, she'd be a little bit more balanced. But this to me looks really top heavy. So I think her fullness is good. I think her conditioning is good. I just feel like her upper body is overpowering, and I think that's a posing thing. I think if she opened up her hips a little bit and just made her lower body look a little bit wider and kind of closed her upper body down a little bit, that would help. But also I feel like she might be doing this to try to make her waistline look a little bit smaller. So I think they're doing a push-pull here. But what this does to me is it just makes me think that her upper body is a little bit overpowering. Let's find a back shot. All right. Back pose here. So I kind of stick with what I said about her front pose. Upper body looks overpowering to me. She's got a great V-taper, right? But when I look at this, I see shoulders and back, right? I don't see glutes first. I see her shoulders and back first. So she's got some good, like her conditioning back here. This is perfect conditioning for her glutes and her hamstrings. Again, she's got the tie-in, but it's not sharp. It's full, it's round, but she needs more glutes here to battle with her upper body, right? Her upper body to me is what stands out. So I would, if I was her, I would close that upper body down a little bit. She doesn't need to spread that wide. Her waistline is tiny from the back, so she can close that down just a little bit. But really what she needs is more inner upper glute pop projection, right? She is squatting into the knees a little bit here, which she was doing at Optimum as well. I don't necessarily think she needs to do that. I think she does need to keep the knees soft, but not squat into it as much. And I think that would help to fill her glutes out if she stood up a little bit taller here. So some of this, I really think some of this can just be fixed through posing tweaks. I think she just needs some posing tweaks here, but she can always stand to add more glutes. I said the same thing about her feedback from Optimum. It's just that she just got exposed next to other bodies here at this show that she didn't get exposed next to in Optimum. All right. So in second place, we had Fatu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know about names sometimes. So I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Let's take a look at why she was second. Okay, so she's a good example, as I've been saying with a couple of these girls here today, where they need to bring their hips on a little bit more straight towards the judges. She did that. This was a great spot for her for this hit. Her waistline's tiny. She didn't need to turn all the way to the side in order to show that. She turned a little bit more straight on, so that created a better V-taper and a better glute pop for her here. Waistline is really tight. She could use a little bit more shoulders here. If she could fill her shoulder out a little bit more, she wouldn't need to pull her lat out quite so much. And that would just look a little bit rounder and fuller. So that's really all I would change here. I do think she posed correctly for her physique right here. What I would do is I would try to pop those shoulders a little bit more so you don't have to pull the lat out quite so much. And let's find a back shot. All right, so we got a full back shot here. There we go. So really good back shot again. Same thing from the back. She just needs more shoulders. She needs some more roundness in those shoulders to really complete this balance from top to bottom. Glutes look great. Perfect. Again, she's got the tie-ins, but they're not sharp. She's full. She's round. She's got some good projection from the back. I really think from the back, she's spot on from the lower half down. I just think from the top half, she just needs some more shoulders. She needs more delts just to balance her from top to bottom. That's it. The rest of this, I really wouldn't change much. Just focus on adding a little bit more shoulder on top. And Alice was our winner here. So I think most of us were rooting for Alice. She has placed, second a half dozen times, that kind of thing. So you're always rooting for the underdog here. She came pretty close to fixing this front pose. I still just want to see her drop that arm. So to me, this arm just flying out to the side, I just want to see her relax it. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything here. I think she looks great. She's nice and full. Again, conditioning, tight, waistline super tight. She just needs to let that arm relax. She's got great shoulders, tiny little waistline. I mean, this is a really, really good shape. She does not need to overpose it. So all I would say is just drop that arm. Just drop the arm. That's it. And we're going to go to a back shot. All right, fully posed right here. Okay, so she's bent a little bit. Let me see if there's a better one. No, same thing. I feel like she's bent over a little bit in this back pose. Glutes look good. Tie-ins look good. She's bending into the knees a little bit. I think they did that on purpose to try to get the hamstrings to pull a little tighter. But to me, it just looks like she's bending over a touch. So I would just be careful of that. Stand up a little taller. And I'd also try to fix the suit cut a little bit. It doesn't, it's almost showing like it's like she's a little bit shallow on top of her glutes. She's not. I think the suit cut is just exposing like her tailbone basically. So I would just try to stand up a little taller in general, just upper body and the knees. And that's probably a conditioning thing. You know, I'm sure they're trying to work with her a little bit to get the glutes to pop the best and get the hamstrings to come in the best, that kind of thing. I think she can still stand to put on some size in the glutes, some density, some fullness. Then you don't have to manipulate the pose quite so much. But she is the best balance from top to bottom in this show from what we looked at from this top 5. So absolutely would still give her the win. I would just say between now and the Olympia, just work on really balancing that back pose out a little bit better and really work on nailing that posing, nailing that posing specifically from the front. She could add some more calves to kind of balance her out. She's got some really long legs, as far as her structure is concerned, her legs are long. So just making sure that she gets that balance there. She's got plenty of time to put some size on between now and the Olympia. That's about all I would really, really focus on at this point. So that is Legions. So that's our wrap-ups. I'm just going to quickly bring up the pro lists for this coming weekend because there's 3 shows this weekend. And like I said, I will be on the live stream commentary for DC ProAm. So that's the first one I'm going to pull up. Go ahead and put into the comments here who you think is going to take each one of these shows. So here's DC ProAm, the list. I'll be honest, there's a lot of names on here I don't know, so I'm going to have to go through and kind of look them up and get some history on them, that kind of thing. Who actually pops out to me? We haven't seen Alessia compete in a little while. So she's one to be paying attention to. I'm curious to see what she looks like. She hasn't been on stage in a bit. I would say the one going into the show that would be your, challenger, that kind of thing, would be Tara Greer. She won it last year. So expect her to come out and try to defend her title. Kristen Riley, she won the overall in the amateur division. What is it, 2 years ago, I think, at this show? And even 2 or 3 years ago. And so now she's back competing in as a pro. So I'm curious to see what she looks like. Hannah just came out after 2 years off and just was in first call at Legion. So she's another one to look at. Leslie's a local girl. She's one to pay attention to. Anybody else that you guys see on this list that we should be watching that I didn't mention? I would say your one to watch as far as winning would be Tara, because Tara did win this last year. So go ahead and type in if there's anybody else that you want to pay attention to. But like I said, I'm going to do some research on each of these girls for the live stream itself, because there's a lot of names on here I don't know. And then we have the Mile High Pro, which clearly we have Ashley Kaltwasser coming back. So she's the one to be paying attention to 100%. Yeah, and China, did she win the overall at this show at DC? I don't know if she won the overall, but she was definitely in the overall last year. So China's definitely one to watch too. Mile High, I don't see anybody beating Ashley. I think Ashley's got this pretty much in the bag. Eureka's one to watch. Obviously, we just saw her in the top of the last 2 shows. Other than that, Kimberly has not been doing great this year so far, Kimberly Bonilla, but she's another one to pay attention to because she has gotten top 5s in the past. Go ahead and type into the comments if there's anybody else here that you would like to see potentially. Oh wait, Lolo, hold on. Did I miss Lo? Who am I missing? DC Pro, Tara. Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't even see her. Lauren. Okay. There's another one. Good. Thank you for pointing that out. Totally skipped right over her. All right. So Mile High. Who you got from Mile High? Oh, and there's Lizzie, who we were talking about with Fit Model. So closer stance in the front pose, more glute depth, and tad tighter. Everything I said. Okay, awesome. I love it. I like when I'm in line with what the judges are telling you. I had no knowledge of that prior, just so you guys know. I had no knowledge of that prior. So good to know. Good to know. So yeah, so anybody else have anybody for a Mile High other than Ashley? I mean, clearly I think Ashley is the one that we got to be paying attention to, right? Reina Perez. Do I not? What has she placed before? I don't recognize the name. And what about for Toronto? Who you got for Toronto? We haven't seen Octavia out in a little bit, so Octavia is one to be paying attention to. Alice is one to be paying attention to. Kiki, Ali Fernandez. Okay, obviously Brittany. Brianna is another one. Toronto, I would say, is probably the one that's the most like open to anybody winning. There's nobody in here that I would say, oh, she's definitely going to take it. Maxine is another one. There's a lot of Alice. I mean, like I just mentioned her. There's a lot of girls in here that have done decent. So go ahead and type in who you got for Toronto. Toronto is going to be an interesting one. Toronto was my pro debut years and years and years and years ago. Toronto's a good show. And yes, I did talk about Fit Model at the beginning of this, so definitely watch the replay once it comes back on and let me know your thoughts. Who you guys got for Toronto? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Maxine for Toronto because I believe she won it last year, if I'm not mistaken. But it really could go to it. Could, I mean, Ali tends to win shows when she's in them, very very close, if not winning. She's top 2 usually. So I would say if I was a betting woman, I'd say between Ali and Maxine. So between Ali and Maxine for Toronto, Ashley for Mile High, and Tara for DC Pro. That's what I'm going with for my winners. What do you guys think? I'll give it a couple minutes for you guys to put in your 2 cents. What do you think? Yeah, Toronto is definitely going to be the most interesting, for sure. But like I said, I am on the live stream commentary with Jordan for DC ProAm. So go to GaryUta.com and click on the DC ProAm link. There is a tab for the streaming, and you can purchase that. I think it's $25. And we are actually going to be on live stream commentary for that. We'll be on screen this year too. Sometimes we're not on screen. We are on screen this time. So we'll give you our 2 cents. I am going to do research on every one of the girls because there's several girls in the lineup that I don't know. So I am going to look them all up, make sure I know everything I can get to know about them. So I can give you guys some background on each of them. But it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a fun weekend. Regardless, I head back out to DC Friday. So I'll be there late on Friday. I'm going to be busy Saturday. But I'm really looking forward to it. This is one of my favorite shows of the year, clearly, for obvious reasons. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Put your 2 cents into the comments if you do go back and watch it in regard to what I said about Fit Model. I think everybody agreed with me that actually typed in, so that was good. You can disagree with me too. It's fine. You can disagree with me as well. But I appreciate y'all agreeing with my 2 cents and my thoughts. And yeah, let's hope that we keep everything in check for this particular division. So as I said before, scan this QR code right here. That's our free newsletter. We do put it out once a month. And what we do is we tell you all of the things that we put out on YouTube. So if you miss any of my videos or anything like that, it's all in there. We'll give you some exercise and fitness tips and things like that too. Just kind of keep you updated on the news in the industry and things like that as well. And it is only a once a month newsletter. So go ahead and jump on there, and we give you some exclusive discounts, things like that as well. So yep, Jennifer will be there in person. And like I always say to you guys, if you see me, feel free to come say hi. This particular show, I'm going to be running around like a crazy person doing hair and makeup and the commentary. So it's going to be a little bit crazy. So don't take offense if I just say hi and bye. But I'm going to have a lot on my plate. So Jennifer has already been employed for coffee runs. I've already asked her for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at this show. It's always a fun one. It's a different venue this year, so it should be cool. I'm excited to do it at the Salisbury Center. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. So my cycle started the day before the shows we did. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense too. Makes sense. Yeah, that's the part about being a woman, and those things should happen when you're contest lean. Just saying. That's the whole point of Fit Model. Still supposed to be healthy at entry level. Oh, okay. All right, guys. I think I made my point. Got your Americano. Yes. Americano, Grande Americano Black. That's me. If anybody ever wants to give me a coffee, it's always a Grande Americano Black. Nothing in it. That's my jam. That's my shit, right? All right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. This is gonna be a fun weekend. Like I said, I look forward to seeing many of you there. Hope you get the live stream if you're not going to be there in person. And with that, we're out. Bye, guys.